How's she doing? She's doing really well, actually.
They told me at diagnosis 2 to 4 months is about what I could expect. They said if we amputated, 6 months would be about how long she would likely have.
As part of her conventional treatment, Molly lost her leg to osteosarcoma, an unforgiving and vicious bone cancer.
I had never heard of osteosarcoma before, but when you search it, especially in golden retrievers and boxers, it's very, very common.
Once the disease spreads to the lungs, dogs like Molly face few options for survival.
They put me in like one of these back rooms that had like a mat on the ground, and we just sat in there and I just cried.
Desperate, Savannah enrolled Molly in the losartan clinical trial at CSU's Flint Animal Cancer Center.
Good girl.
It was very reassuring to see it working so well and not affecting her life and just keeping that quality of life the same throughout the trial. Hiked up Mount Evans, tripod dog on top of a 14er.
The basic science for the losartan trial started years earlier in the laboratories of CSU doctors Steve Dow and Dan Regan.
CD11B on those just to kind of compare. No, it's not direct.
They battle cancer at the cellular level.
So osteosarcoma is a primary cancer of the bone, but one of the first places this tumor spreads is the lungs. Early on, when these tumors are beginning to grow in the lungs, they're highly dependent on a specific white blood cell population known as inflammatory monocytes. And so these tumors put out a specific signal that recruits a fire hose of these monocytes into the lung to promote their growth. And so what we found was that when you treat with losartan, you reduce this fire hose of monocytes down to a trickle. And once you've removed these cells from the environment of the tumor, it no longer has the essential nutrient it needs to grow, and these tumors start to shrink. And that's when we start to see clinically meaningful responses in these patients.
I mean, there was one point where one of the nodules disappeared. At one point I was like, all right, like I just almost was in disbelief.
Certainly this is not the final answer, but it makes hope real.
Positive results were first observed in mice, then dogs like Molly and Jake. Jake was originally from the Midwest and was diagnosed there. Moving to Colorado put them in proximity to the Flint Animal Cancer Center.
When we, came here, we didn't think there was any hope, and they've given us so much hope in the last year and 8 months. He's a walking miracle, and I'm sure other dog owners with, the same problem are feeling the same way. We just happen to be in the right place at the right time and get put in the right direction of CSU.
And so it's devastating to think that so many other people have, been told this and then pretty much told that their dog's gonna die and there's nothing they can do about it. I can't even imagine that level of heartbreak. Because at least knowing that you can try something and you can do something and you can keep fighting, it's just like that gleam of hope that you need to keep moving forward.
We feel like this kind of has really moved the needle, because we've seen, in some cases, actual tumor regression and certainly cessation of tumor growth. In a disease, it's really stymied a lot of other investigations. So we feel like this is a breakthrough.
So you got all the calves over here and the mamas are over here screaming for their babies, and it's all dusty. And
I just returned from Sky High Hope Camp. I've been a counselor up there with children that have cancer and their siblings for almost 40 years now. So the hope is that dog trials and kid trials can be blended, both can help each other, and that this new losartan trial will really meet that mission.
What's learned in the dog trial does in fact translate to kids hanging on for more hope.
Wow.
It's one of the most significant and hopeful opportunities that we have had through the years that I've been here and the years I've been following comparative oncology, to actually develop something from scratch in a cancer center devoted to animals that is truly comparative and truly moving to kids.
Almost there. Almost there.
Like their veterinary counterparts, doctors at Children's Hospital have been equally stymied by this disease.
We haven't come up with any new successful agents for osteosarcoma, and we haven't changed the cure rates for osteosarcoma. That is extremely frustrating.
In a move full of potential and transformative power, and thanks to the generosity of One Cure supporters, One Cure will sponsor a losartan trial for pediatric patients at Children's Hospital, Colorado. The study is due to start in the fall of 2018.
When anyone hears a diagnosis of cancer, the first thing anybody wants to know is what options are there? And the ability to tell people there are options, that there are choices, is incredibly empowering for the person having to make those decisions.
The hope generated by the losartan trial for both pets and people shows the true depth and breadth of the Flint Animal Cancer Center.
What we have up the road at CSU is amazing and is unique to very few places. And the fact that we have that and we can tap into that, and the knowledge, the patience that they have up there, is just adds to our ability to grow and learn about oncology and oncology therapy.
Alongside the groundbreaking scientists and compassionate clinicians stands One Cure, a group devoted to helping pets and people fight cancer.
One Cure makes it possible to take the basic science work we're doing here, validate them in the dog, and provide that extra boost of evidence that you need to make that jump into the human clinic and provide hope for these pediatric patients.
Losartan is affordable, available, and as dogs have demonstrated, safe and effective. It's been used for decades to treat high blood pressure. Doctors Dow and Regan repurposed it as an immunotherapy to slow down the growth of tumors, and as studies of dogs will do, accelerate discovery.
If you've got metastatic bone cancer, time is not your friend, and so the quicker you can accelerate this work into a clinical setting, the better we all are.
From someone who's lost a child to cancer, it's just, if they can do anything to slow the growth or help, give the kids and their parents more time together, it's priceless.
Dealing with what I've gone through and how hard that's been, being able to help out a parent going through it with a sick child, I think that's incredible.
This is a leapfrog. This isn't an incremental step. This is going all the way past what we used to think was kind of the next best thing. And I think the capacity to be part of that, capacity to know that you're contributing to something that's really going to turn the world on edge, I think that's pretty exciting.
You have preliminary dog data.
Yeah, well, that's
that
how
would
they
go
grade.
a long
By
way.
extending the trial to Children's Hospital, One Cure has turned a dogged investigation of a single white blood cell into hope for patients who previously had none.
To me, it's about a unifying effort. It's about something that people can gather around, and it's about something that says no matter how you get here, you have this one goal. So it's one cure, but it's one goal.
Growing hope for pets and people. It's hope that provides the power and inspiration for One Cure.
We should be celebrating the work that's been done with the basic scientists who helped us to bring these drugs to the clinic, the pharmacologists who helped us determine the doses to use, the clinicians who helped treat these patients, the owners who believed in us and enrolled their pets into these clinical trials, and everyone that's donated to or supported One Cure. It's so exciting that we're able to provide this glimmer of hope to pets and people with this devastating disease.